All right, guys, we're getting down to brass tacks with. Wait, hold on, just a second. I've got something special for you, guys. We are getting down to brass tacks with Weapon X. The look on your face.
Oh my god, that was the coolest shit ever.
You want to hear it again?
Yes. Weapon X. Oh, and
I
then
made
put
that
the horn
for
right
you.
after that.
Ooh, okay, hold on. The horn's kind of loud, guys. Get ready for it. Sorry, I know the horn. Intro. I know the horn was so kind of cool. Loud.
Anastasia just had me. What is that?
It's a new.
Is that honey barbecue like seasoning?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That sounds good. Guys, all of our programming is brought to you by True Nutrition. I just bought a bag of Team Skip protein. We've got a couple codes. You can use the code THINK, of course, or you can use the code Weapon X to get some additional savings on awesome high-quality supplements. Man,
you should have put the recording right there. You could use the code Weapon X.
I made that special for you this morning. I thought I just wanted to see that look on your face when I went like that.
Oh my god, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that at all. Mortal Kombat style. Yes. I'm so pumped. Let's go.
And we've got some intense stuff because today we are talking about intensity techniques and exercise selection. This is going to be some good topics, man. We got some feedback that they said Derik is very intense.
So I have a feeling more appropriate topic to do than intensity techniques. I'm going to get real intense with intensity.
I figured so much. Where are we starting with this one, man?
Okay. So, first of all, I want to just kind of revisit what we talked about last time, just like a quick summary about the whole volume thing. So, intensity techniques are, in my opinion, a great way to increase the volume within your session without adding a bunch of sets or falling into the trap of doing a bunch of junk volume just to get more time with whatever body part that you're training. So I would say at this point most people are probably really familiar with all the different techniques that you can use, especially if you have been listening to this podcast. Not necessarily this specific show, but Think Big Bodybuilding Media. So some basic examples would be like drop sets, supersets, giant sets. What am I missing? Muscle rounds.
Yep, cluster sets.
Which Dr. Scott is very vehement about letting people know how often they do it wrong.
Oh, yes, he is. That's why you can say cluster set. You can say cluster set, and that's you know what I mean.
I realize that when I talk about cluster sets, people think of it in a very different way.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like people have different ways of defining each type of intensity technique.
I could see that.
DC rest pause, duh. So I guess I just wanted to kind of break down what each one is really quick, just so people know what, in case they don't know. I don't want to assume that people know all of these and what they are. So, okay, so let's start with drop set, right? Okay, so I actually just did this I did push today actually with one of my clients, and I really personally like a drop set when I do push on flat bench press. For whatever reason, I get way better connection with the muscle on when I do drop sets on that. So I'll do like my first set will be a straight set of 6 to 8 or 8 to 10, and then like so for example, I did I did 455 for 2, and then what you do is you immediately strip weight off of it, some predetermined percentage or amount. So I determined I was going to do 455, I was going to strip it down to 315, and then I was going to strip it down to 225 for this final segment. So that's a double drop set.
Yeah.
I did 455 for 2, and then I did 315 for 9 without rest. You get the weight off and you jump right back into the set. Don't sit there for 30, 45, 60 seconds trying to catch your breath. Now it's no longer a drop set. You are no longer increasing the intensity of your set. you are now focused on recovery.
Right.
So if you take longer than like 10 seconds in between, then it's no longer a drop set. You're doing it completely wrong. So then I did 315, I believe, for 9. And then we stripped off another plate, got down to 225, and then I did 225 for 11. So I back to back to back without rest. That is how you implement a drop set. If you take longer than 10 to 15 seconds in between, you are doing it completely wrong. Then superset. I think most people are familiar with.
I got a question. Got a question for you. So if you were to use that drop set on your bench, now you're doing basically like we discussed in the last episode. You're doing only really like 2 sets on bench. So do you do a drop set on both of those sets, or how does that work? No.
So the first set will just be a straight set. So like I did 405 for 9.
Okay.
And then I racked it. I was done. And then I set up. I was feeling really good, so I knew I could bench a little bit more weight. And it's been a while since I've gone like super heavy on flat bench, and I needed it. I needed to feel it. So that's why I put the 455 on, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do what I can with that. And I know I'm not gonna get a full set with 455, like, you know, a minute. I knew I wasn't gonna do like a minimum of 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this a drop set.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I kind of got like a clear picture of like what you're doing. If you're doing this every set of every exercise, or like you just said, at that one point where it really made a difference.
Right. So I use intensity techniques, especially for, this is just me personally, my reasoning. I like drop sets, for example, on movements that if I do a straight set, it's a movement that I enjoy, but I don't connect with it as much. The increase in intensity allows me to recruit more muscle fibers, and I can feel it more. So that's my reasoning. And then obviously there are some times when I'm just feeling like getting down and dirty, and I just want to go after it. Like, you know, sometimes there is no reason. I just want to punish myself for whatever reason.
Okay. I'm up to speed. I'm up to speed now.
You're up to speed?
Yes.
Okay. So that's that. Supersets obviously are, not obvious for people who may not know, but when you take 2 different movements and you put them together back to back again without rest. So now a superset can be 2 exercises for the same muscle group. They can be 2 exercises for different muscle groups. So if you're doing a push day, you could superset a chest and a shoulder, or a chest and a tricep, or a shoulder and a tricep, or you could do the tricep first and then chest, whatever. My opinion, if you're going to do something like that, you would want to put the big muscle group first, because otherwise, if you do the smaller muscle group first, like if you did tricep and then chest, chances are you're not going to be able to move as much of a load on the chest movement, and your triceps are going to take over, and you're not going to get as much chest recruitment out of it.
Absolutely.
So that's just my personal recommendation.
Have you ever gone as far as to do like multiple, like almost like a giant set where you're...
That was going to be the next thing that I was going to touch on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me let you get there then. And
it's all right.
I want to know your experience on giant sets too. It's not something I've messed around with much.
If I do a giant set, which is 3, it's the same thing as a superset, but 3 or more exercises. If I do a giant set, I tend to relegate it only to smaller muscle groups. So like if I am doing a push day, I'll only do a giant set with triceps. Or if I'm doing a pull day, I'll only do the giant set with biceps. With the bigger muscle groups, and even with the smaller ones, my main focus is increasing the progression of the load over time. That is paramount, most important. So if I ever feel like a drop set, superset, any of these intensity techniques will take away from that, then I won't do it. I only do it when I know I can still progress. So like that first segment is going to be like a PR. Yeah. And then I try to maintain my prior performance on the other movements.
Okay. I did a giant
set. That's how I approach it.
This last workout. I generally don't do them, but being that I'm kind of like in this still getting better phase, I did a giant set between rack pulls. Excuse me, I'm not rack pulls. Stiff leg deads. Stiff leg deads into it wasn't super heavy though. I'm not very strong at the moment. Stiff leg deads then into leg press, then into hamstring curl. It was good.
Ooh.
It was good.
Actually, it doesn't sound too bad. It still sounds brutal, but I guess it could. It sounds like now if you did like deadlifts into squats into another squat or leg press, that would, or like hack squats, that would suck.
Yes,
but
I also I want to tell everybody too. Bear with us. Derik and Anastasia just got home from their busy day at work. Anastasia is just like you. She's a competitor. She has to eat. So I don't want to hear any crap about the stuff in the kitchen. That's the way it is. It's just how it is. Plus, if we got pissed, Derik couldn't do anything about it anyway.
No, she'd still continue cooking and making noise. Besides, actually, what you just heard was not actually her cooking. It was actually the dog being fed.
I assume she was like, I assume she had like the pots out and there was like noodles boiling and rice over here and like.
No, she's actually like, when it comes to like cooking for herself, she's actually like pretty quiet. But no, that was the dog bowl being filled.
Oh,
right, Bubs? Okay. He's balls deep in his food, so.
Okay.
Where the hell were we?
So we were at Giant Sets.
And then the next technique, Christmas cabbage. So, no, I'm just kidding. I've been waiting for an opportunity to throw that in. Man, that's funny. Let's see. I'm trying to. Oh, I knew there was one I really wanted to share, actually, that it's a little unconventional just because I have never heard it before until Dr. Scott taught it to me. It's called Fives in the Hole. Have you heard of it before?
You know what? I have, but I explain it because I've never actually done it. No,
okay.
I haven't.
Okay, so Fives in the Hole is probably one of, if not the most intense thing that I've done. So basically what you do is an easy example is like the leg extension, right? So you get on the leg extension and you're going to do 5 full reps, complete range of motion, lock it out, squeeze the quads, all that stuff. And then you're going to do 5 partial reps. Now you could do the partial reps out of the bottom where the muscle is stretched, or you can do it out of the top where it's contracted. Obviously the top is harder in a sense. But I usually do it out of the bottom. I like to do it when the muscle is completely stretched, when the fibers are completely stretched out. So you do 5 full reps, 5 partials. Then you do 4 full reps, 5 partials. So your partials are always at 5. That's why it's called 5 in the hole. 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5. So your goal is to get to 1, obviously. If you fail before you get to 1, that's okay. So that is, this is how you would measure progression with that. So you say, okay, I did leg extensions with 200 pounds and I finished 3 full reps, 5 partials, and I got 1 full rep. I wasn't able to get the second one. So you're like, okay, I failed there. So now I know that next time I have to make sure I get those 2 full reps and those 5 partials after that. That's progression.
Yeah.
And then once you're able to do 1 rep with the 5 partials with that 200 pounds, now you can move up to the next notch, and then you just keep going.
That's nice.
I really like that technique in 2 scenarios. 1, if you're just really trying to just absolutely murder yourself, and 2, let's say you have a limited time frame that you have to train. So that would be a really good technique to get in there to address a specific muscle group very quickly, get it done, and move on.
Yeah.
Man, I have something in my throat, and it won't go away. Sorry for coughing, everybody.
Hydration agent.
Hydration agent.
That's
I saw that comment in the YouTube videos like a million times. People really like the hydration agent.
We'll put the hashtag in the next one.
I'll see if True Nutrition wants to make a new amino acid product. We'll call it hydration agent.
I like that.
Put electrolytes in it. I think it'd be cool. Let's see. What else?
I'm waiting on rest pauses still.
Oh, DC rest pause.
Yes.
Duh. Come on. Okay, so DC rest pause. I'm like 90% certain I'm going to explain this correctly.
Okay.
If I mess it up at all, obviously just chop to the throat. So
you will lose your sponsorship from True Nutrition. I will message Dante instantly. You are on there's a lot of pressure right here. I will also delete the new sound clip. We will not have it anymore. So there's a lot of pressure.
No, stop. That's not cool. I don't like that. Okay, so DC rest pause. So the way I've always done it is more or less have a set rep scheme that you're trying to go for. So the whole point of the DC rest pause is within one set to have multiple failure points. So like, for example, if I'm doing a leg press set, I'll start off with 12 reps and I'm failing at 12. Then you wait 5 or 10 seconds and then you unrack the weight. You have the same amount of weight, you don't change it, and you go again. Ideally, you should be getting a much lower rep range because you don't have as much glycogen to push you because you didn't recover as long. So you'll probably get like 5 or 6 reps there. I think that's usually how it goes for me. And then you wait another 5 to 10 seconds, you rack the weight, and then you'll go one more time. And at that time, you'll probably get like 2 reps.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 if you're like, you're really tapped into the matrix, if you will. And then that's the end of the set. And you rack it. It should be the end of the set. You shouldn't have anything left. And if you do, then you really shucked and jived on that.
Yeah, those are great, man. Like you can really,
I love the DCs.
You can push hard. I go a little bit longer. I had always been taught 20 seconds. So you actually get a lot more with 20 seconds. There's There's a huge difference between 5 seconds and 20 seconds. It allows me to get like 8 good breaths in. So, and that's what I focus on is my breathing. I make sure that I'm pulling in as much oxygen as I can in between.
That's the way Scott does it. He counts it. He doesn't count by seconds. He counts by breaths. Okay. I think he does 10 really big inhales and exhales, and then he goes back in.
Yeah. Those are tough, man. What's your favorite exercise to do a rest pause on?
Ooh, man. I don't know if I have a favorite because I do it pretty frequently. I do not recommend doing it on any type of barbell squat. That is probably suicide. But man, I really like leg press. I really like machines. I don't really like doing it with any type of free weight unless it's something like like an exercise that comes to mind is like a chest supported dumbbell row. Yeah. Something that like if it all goes to hell, you can bail safely. Yeah. That's my recommendation for anyone that wants to do a DC rest pause. If you're going to do it in something that if
put it
shit
down,
hits the fan, you can get away from it and you won't get hurt.
Yeah. I would say like anything
sucks.
Especially like upper body, especially. I haven't done it a lot with legs personally.
Leg press is a good one. Yeah. Oh, see, Matt Blevins literally just said it. Love rest pause on the leg press.
Yeah, I haven't done rest pause on the leg press. I'll end up doing I do end up doing higher reps, I think. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done a rest pause. That's like maybe the one machine I haven't done a rest pause on ever.
If I was going to do rest pause on a leg day, it would be on the leg press.
That would make sense.
That would be the only thing. That would probably be the only thing I would do it.
I've done it on hamstring curl and leg extensions. I've done it on those two. I like it on hamstring curls. That's a good one.
Yeah. I also like, speaking of which, I was literally just thought of it, bands.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, you don't like bands, do you?
No, I love bands. I just don't like when the bands help you.
The reverse bands. I gotcha.
I cannot stand it. And at one point, I'm going to do a video for Instagram to explain exactly why I can't stand it. But here's the summary of it is, your muscle generates more force on the eccentric portion of the movement, the stretching part, than it does on the concentric, right? So if your muscle is stronger on the eccentric portion, why would you use a technique that makes the eccentric portion of the movement easier? Now, most people use it in order to alleviate some pressure on a joint, whether it's the elbow on a press, or whether it's the knee on a squat, right? Yeah. So that makes perfect sense. So the way, if that's your purpose, the way that it's supposed to be used is, so more prevalently the hack squat. I feel like we've talked about this before.
We have, yes.
But I get really upset about this, so I'm going to go into it again. So hack squat,
okay.
Right? The band should only have tension in the last quarter of the squat, because that's where the most torque and tension on your knee is. So you're alleviating tension off of the knee enough to get out of the hole without hurting yourself or hurting your knees and being achy, and then your muscle is doing all the all the work. You're feeling all the weight. What I see all the time on social media is the band is completely taut, complete tension from the second that they unrack. So as soon as those handles go to the sides to unrack, they don't feel the full brunt of the weight at all at any point of the movement. And the lower they get, the less that they feel, which makes zero sense if the lowering portion is where you are the strongest.
Yeah.
And then it's pushing you back, it's pulling you back up. It's helping you.
There is like an elasticness. I mean, it literally is like an elastic quality that you can kind of like bounce out of it. You know, if it's really strong, if the band's really strong. Like I'd even had that happen using too heavy of a band on squats. And, you know, when you get down to the bottom, you're like hanging there. But then when you push up, you kind of feel it like there's a momentum that pulls with you, you know.
Momentum.
That's not helping you, you know.
No, not at all. So that's why I hate the reverse band so much.
So where do you like them then? Excuse
me. First of all, if I use a band, I only use it to make the exercise harder, not to make it easier. The only time I will use a band for assistance is on pull-ups. And the only reason is that for me, it's a little bit harder to feel the muscle and maintain the form that you need to in order to engage the muscle properly when you're just hanging there.
When you do that, like
you have to like kind of twist your body around.
Yeah, when you do that, like when you do an assisted banded basically pull up, you can like wield so much more control over your technique if you're a little bit lighter. And I think that you can make it harder and use better form than you would have otherwise. And say I were to
and you can do it slower.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what yeah, exactly. You can both part, you know, you can drive it up and all of that. I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that.
So that is the only exercise that I will use a band to assist me. And it's literally just to engage the muscle better and for no other reason. Obviously, if you have really, really exceptional core control and you can keep your body, you know, so if this is, you know, your chest or whatever, and it's like, you know, pushed up because you're having good posture. Right. And you're able to maintain this posture without the help of the band the entire time, great. But
like a gymnast.
If you can't, then if you're a gymnast, fantastic. You don't need a band. But otherwise, I think that would be a good exercise to do that with. Otherwise, I don't see the point. And I don't think we see any of the top bodybuilders, the biggest guys, because everyone here wants to put on muscle. That's why they listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't see any of those guys using reverse bands. So is that coincidence? I don't know.
You know where Shelby came up with one, and this would add tension to it. We were doing Meadows rows, R.I.P. John. He took the like the small band from Elite, the short band, and he'd put it around the bar and then step on the other end. So when you rode it up, you were standing on the band, and you know it was cool, man. It made it brutal. It made it very hard.
I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow.
You got back tomorrow?
Reasons. I do. I have pull tomorrow. So I did legs yesterday. I did push today, and I do pull tomorrow. I don't like when I program. I don't like legs and pull back-to-back days if I can help it. Just because typically whichever one comes second usually suffers in performance.
Yeah.
Especially if you're training back the way that you should, and especially if you're deadlifting on a pull day, you know, your lower back is going to be pumped and a little bit tight, which is going to affect your ability to train legs or your movement selection, which could affect your ability to train legs properly in order to grow.
Yeah. So
I never put those together.
Where else do you like bands? We know where you don't like them.
Pretty much anything. I really enjoy wrapping the bands around the hack squat. Wrapping it around the bottom of the platform and then hooking the other end on the pads where your shoulders go. So that as you're pushing on the concentric, it's becoming more difficult as you're coming up.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? I absolutely hate using bands on, I usually see powerlifters do this. I don't really see bodybuilders do this. But on flat barbell, I hate using bands on a flat barbell. It tears my shoulder up.
Oh, okay.
It does not feel good at all. Do not recommend. 0 out of 10. However, I do like using bands on dumbbell presses.
Really?
So, yeah, you wrap it around your back so that each hand is holding one end of the band, and then you're holding the dumbbells as well. So, obviously, you have to have pretty, decent sized hand. You can't have baby hands. But I really like the resistance profile that the band creates for that, especially on incline.
Okay.
Flat is hit or miss, again, because sometimes it can pull on your shoulder a little bit. You might feel it in your rotator cuff, but I really like it on incline dumbbell a lot.
Huh. So do you have somebody hand you the dumbbells then too, or how do you?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like it'd be tricky to get yourself in. So
or I know I've done it by myself, but it took a lot of mobility, if you will. So I'd be like this, and then I'd kind of lean over like that, and
okay.
I would literally have to do a press with the band in order to grab the dumbbells.
Okay.
And then you can do your thing.
Okay, fair enough.
And actually when you are pulling the dumbbells back up, the band is helping you to get them up
Get
here.
you in position. I could probably use that, man. That's where my shoulder bothers me. It's like dumbbell incline sometimes is if you use that bicep tendon. Yeah, I have to really kick it. Otherwise, if I use my arm to pull it, that's no good.
Now, with at our gym at FAM, so the actual, I don't know what you would call them, like just the regular dumbbells, they go up to 100, right? So, and to get dumbbells that are heavier is pretty expensive. We're working on it, but so what Dr. Scott did is he actually bought us some Olympic dumbbell handles. You could load the plates on. I have a few videos of me pressing with those on my Instagram, but they're extremely big and very unwieldy, I think is a good word. So when I use those, I have to get a couple guys from the gym, and they'll literally hand the dumbbells to me. I'll lay back on the bench, and they'll grab the handles of the plates that are loaded on the dumbbells and literally just put them in my hands while I'm back like this.
Guys, I've seen Derik doing this with some ridiculous weight. You had so much weight on there that you had to have things all strapped together.
I had to strap bands around the dumbbells in order to hold the plates together. Yeah.
What are we talking weight wise that you've done with this type of setup?
The most I've done is 195s for 5 or 6 reps.
Okay, nice. That's a lot,
so
man.
I'm gunning for the 200s.
195s. I think it's harder too. By the way, shout out to Ethan. He's at the hospital right now. He just said hello. He's at the hospital right now.
Oh, I hope you're doing okay, Ethan.
He's doing okay. His wife is in labor.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes.
Hope the lady and the baby, if you have had it already, are doing well.
Yes. So
and thank you for tuning in.
That's got to be extra tough though, because those dumbbell handles are the dumbbells themselves are so big, like you said, not very wielding.
Well, that's why they have them handed to me so that my hands are already mostly pronated. Okay. So that way I don't have to turn them.
I see.
So I can just get into the press. Once I start pressing, I'm good.
It doesn't matter, huh?
It's the turning part that's the problem.
Okay.
So,
cool.
So, I just realized that I did not charge my iPad, and it is at 2% battery, even though I have it plugged to the charger. So
shit.
I hope it holds out. If we cut out, I'll fix it. I'll go on my phone if I have to. Oh my God.
Hopefully we get through this. Where are we going next?
If it cuts out, then I'll just move to my phone. Not a big deal.
All right.
Because I have plenty of battery on my phone. I'm trying to think. Is there any other techniques that I know of that?
I mean, those are the main ones. I mean, at least.
Muscle rounds.
Oh yeah, duh.
I completely forgot about muscle rounds. That's the last one.
Okay.
So, muscle rounds. So this is how you do it. So the way I've always done it. I know. Shout out to Dr. Scott and his fortitude training book. Go out and get it. He has a few different ways to implement muscle rounds depending on what volume tier of the training you're in. So, but the way I've always done it is it's usually in a 6 sets of 6 format. So you'll, my favorite, I know you're going to ask me, my favorite exercise to do this on is low cable row. I'm very fond of it.
Ooh, I can see that.
Yeah. So I'll do a set of 6 and then you wait. And this one you want to wait 5 to 10 seconds. I know Scott usually measures it in breaths. I think he prefers breaths. But the way I've always done it is 5 to 10 seconds. You do 6, 5 to 10 seconds, go back in, 6, 5 to 10 seconds, 6, and you repeat that until 6 sets are done.
Yeah.
You should have your first oh shit moment on set 3 or set 4.
Okay.
And then you still have the other sets to get through. So if you get through set 4 and you're still feeling pretty good, then you did not use enough weight. You didn't go heavy enough. You went too light. So. Yeah. That I like that at the end. I like to do that at the end of my training. I never like to do that at the beginning. I have tried it at the beginning and it really busts your balls. It's really hard to maintain good performance after that.
Yeah.
I think it's just very neurologically taxing.
So one of the other aspects that I'm familiar with in a muscle round is that there's only one point of failure. So if you were to say get through the first 4 and then you fail on the 4th, you can lower the weight so that you can finish. The key is that you don't. Here's what I learned about a muscle round. So, like the amount of I'll call it like nervous system stress is going to be lower than say on a rest pause because you're only failing once. On a rest pause, you fail and then you fail again. Or if you do where you go to like complete failure, like a Widowmaker, where you get as many reps as you can and then you stop and you take a few breaths. And then you get as many as you can, you stop and take a few breaths. With the muscle round, you're not supposed to stop. And the way it's always been programmed in my head now, the way Scott put it was, he said, you just walk off the cliff. You don't like try to, because the first time I trained a muscle round, I did the 6, but I would stop in between reps and I go, okay, there's 3, and then I go down.
You're not supposed to stop.
There's 4, and then come up again and then take a break, get a breath, and then go, okay, 5, But yeah, you're supposed to just, as Scott put it, just walk straight off the cliff as if you weren't even missing a beat. And then when you fail, let the failure happen. But if you do fail before that 6th one, then you lower the weight and you continue on and then you stop. If you don't fail, then on the 6th one, you keep doing reps until you do fail.
Correct. Yes. That is that. Now everybody knows how to do a muscle round. So if you tag Dr. Scott in it, it better be right or he's going to block you. Yeah. Permanently.
Yeah, but first he'll troll you.
On the podcast and talk about. I was gonna say he'll troll you, then he'll block you, and then he'll come on the podcast and he'll talk smack about you and how shitty you are at training. Man, I feel like there's one that I'm missing. I know there was one that Scott showed me that he like came up with in his like secret, underground laboratory one day.
He has a new one that he explained to me once, but it was like,
is it the demon one?
I think, yes. The demon
drop. It's like this play on on 6s, and I'm gonna let him handle explaining that because I don't remember it in the way that he explained it. What the hell are you doing? She's watching Instagram stories, tried to 1 second. You for 1 second. But yeah, no, I think that covers everything. So just to review, drop sets, supersets, giant sets, DC rest pause, muscle rounds, bands for resistance, not assistance, with the one exception of pull-ups. And then
muscle round. Did we say that?
We said muscle round.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's all.
That's a lot, man.
And fives in the hole. Fives in the hole. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That was my favorite.
All of those. That's a lot.
I came up. There's one more. This one I came up with. I call it the Weapon X Roulette Set. So you need a partner to do this.
Okay.
You need a partner to do this. So
I got one more. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. Forced reps.
All right. Oh shit! That's right. Forced reps.
Yeah.
No, let's cover that one. Let's cover that one really quick.
But wait, I gotta know that you were telling me in.
No, suspense.
Okay.
Suspense.
Okay.
Anyway, force reps. So you, let's say you're shooting for a set of 10 on, I don't know, T-bar row, like a chest-supported T-bar row, and you get 9. Then you're going for that 10th, and your training partner, who is with you, need a partner to do this, is helping you lift the weight up. So you are not so you have 2 plates on the T-bar. You're not necessarily pulling all of that 2 plates. Your partner is helping you with some of the load, but you're getting more. You're going. It's to take your body beyond failure. So you're taking your body beyond its natural capacity of what it could have done in that set with the assistance of a partner. So it's maximal muscle fiber recruitment and beyond that.
Yeah.
They
help you. They would help you on the concentric, and then basically let you take the eccentric, right?
And I was gonna pose a question.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the answer. I was gonna see if anyone else, one of the listeners, can answer.
All right.
Because I answered this already in this specific episode. Why in a forced rep would your partner help you on the concentric, but let you do the eccentric by yourself? Or why would you be capable of doing the eccentric by yourself?
Is this something where we let them answer?
Beyond failure.
Do they, if you know, comment below? Something like that?
I'm going to explain anyway, because obviously there are going to be people listening.
Yeah.
But the answer, I said it earlier in this episode, was you are stronger on the eccentric than you are on the concentric. Your muscle can generate more force. So let's say you were flat bench pressing, and your max was 315 for 5, right? If I put 405 on the bar, I guarantee you would be able to lower that under control pretty much with no problem.
Sure.
You may not be able to get it off your chest, but you'll be able to control it on the way down. That's proof right there that the eccentric portion, your muscle is generating more force and is stronger than in the concentric.
Yeah.
So in a forced rep, that is why your partner will help you on the concentric and let you do the eccentric by yourself, because you'll almost always be able to control the eccentric like 95% of the time.
I've always thought back to Dorian Yates saying that there's 3 types of failure. And I think that once I understood this, I became a lot stronger, a lot more confident with my training. The first place you're going to fail is on the concentric. But after you fail there, so a lot of times we push that weight up and we're like, oh, I could hardly get it. So then you let it fall down. But in reality, after you've even completely failed and you couldn't even push another rep, you still could do a static hold, and you still could do a negative. So you've got that isometric failure next. And after you fail in that isometric, which isometrics is probably an intensity technique we didn't talk about too. Dude,
I was literally just about to say, I completely forgot about
I saw the light bulb go off like at the same time as me. But after you fail in that in that isometric hold, you still have the strength to do a negative. So
absolutely.
But I think that we forget that. And that you push that rep up and you're like, oh, shit. I think I got one more in me after this. But then you let it fall right back down to your chest. You know, and it's like, really, you could have controlled that.
Yeah, and it's just, people kind of bailing. It hurts a lot. It's not like spring daisy type of feeling. Like
it's not fun.
It sucks.
It's terrible.
So and the body's natural tendency is to say, F this, I need to get away from this. So that's why it's so common for people to just kind of drop the weight.
True Nutrition has supported our programming now for a number of years, and I'm super grateful for it because they believe in us and I believe in them. I'm sure you guys have heard of Dante Trudell. We talk about him on the shows. He had a vision of offering high-quality, third-party tested supplements at a fair price. They have a ton of different protein powders, just about every type you could think of, literally thousands of flavor combinations. Hit me up if you're interested in suggestions. They offer health supplements. I use their collagen and their fish oil. And of course, they offer performance supplements. You can get bulk EAA powder or beta-alanine. You can also get finished products like the Mountain Dog Perry MD intra-workout. If you shop with True Nutrition and you use our code THINK, you'll get some additional savings, you'll get high-quality supplements, and you will support our programming. You can also help to support the shows through Patreon. I appreciate everybody who's made a contribution. You guys are helping to keep me pumping these podcasts out. I have links to everything in the description. Check them out. Let me know what you think, and let's get back to the program.
Weapon X.
That is single-handedly the greatest thing you've ever done. See, I had my phone ready to go.
You did. We're still rolling. Everything's good to go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I don't remember where we were exactly.
We had finished talking about, we were talking about ISO holds and the 3 types of failure in Dorian Yates.
Yeah, and there's that. And then isometric holds, we didn't even cover that.
No, but I mean, that's pretty simple. Just when you're at the top of the rep, make sure that you hold the squeeze in the muscle as long as you can. So I really like those on like chest flies, leg extensions, leg curls. Again, things where you can safely bail out.
Yeah.
That's the criteria. You definitely don't want to do that on like back squat, barbell back squat. That's probably the worst thing that you could possibly do.
I've done I've done isometric holds at the bottom of a rep too, like prone.
The full stretch.
Yeah, like prone hamstring curl, like right before the plates touch.
Yeah.
Pause at that bottom, like a pause rep, basically. Pause at that bottom and just hang there, and then from that drive it up.
You just generated another idea, which in my head, which was I forget what the name of the technique is, but like when, let's say you're doing a hamstring curl and you're like a lying hamstring curl, you're coming up on the concentric, you get the squeeze, and then on the eccentric, you have your partner push down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you're fighting the push down, but you're still generating force out of the eccentric phase while the muscle is stretched.
I've seen Tom Platz doing that.
Yes. So I forgot about that one. That's a really good one. I gotta tell you about. Well, first of all, let me just make sure that my phone doesn't die. Also, on me, so I'm gonna plug that in. There we go.
Perfect.
So the Weapon X Roulette Set.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what it is. So this would work best on a pin-loaded machine, and what you do is you have your partner you find out what your top working weight is, and again, you start off trying to hit a PR in the first segment. So if we're doing leg extension, for instance, and your previous best is 250 for 10, you're trying to get 250 for 11 or 12. So your partner now gets to choose the next weight that you do, but you can't look at the weight. All you're focused on is getting as many reps as you can, hitting failure, and just making it more painful.
You have to have trust then in your partner.
Yes. Now, the reason why it's called a roulette set is because, one, you can't look at the weight, so you don't know what it is. You're just going. And your partner could decrease or increase the weight. However, they are not allowed to go above what your top weight was.
I like this. Huh.
So the reason why I like that is because some people can kind of get in their own head when they see the number that they have to move. With this, you're not focused at all on the number. You're just focused on the efficiency of that segment.
Right.
And getting to failure, making it hurt. That's all you care about, the intensity.
You can't
period.
You can't help it. You look down at that weight stack and you're like, yeah, I can get 8 with that.
Right.
You know?
You either have a predetermined number in your head that you can do, or you are, in some cases, maybe you get intimidated by the number and you end up getting less than what you could have done.
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to just going mindlessly.
I like this. So I think we gave
Weapon X Roulette Set.
We gave people a lot of ideas here to employ, but I mean, this is the icing on the cake, right? This is the, you know, the foundation is there with hard training, really good technique, meaning knowing how to control the negative, all that stuff. Yep. And then these things are to take that a step further. Is there anything else we should?
I would say I would say if we were going to leave it on something, I would say be sure that you know exactly how to get to failure and what that truly means before you start throwing intensity techniques into the mix. Because if you're doing like a drop set and your first segment you still had like 4 or 5 reps in the tank, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. It's no longer an increase in intensity. You are bringing the intensity up to where it should have been in the first place.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would 100%.
So make sure you know what getting to actual true mechanical failure means. Now, that means you cannot do another rep on that movement without completely breaking down your form.
Yeah.
So regular failure would be like, I can do more reps, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. True mechanical failure is I can't do another rep without my form breaking down. That's the one that's the most important, in my opinion.
Well, we are so way beyond out of time. There are more. I'm sure that we're not thinking of some. I mentioned Widowmakers earlier, but we never said it was officially an intensity technique, which is probably like one of the most intense techniques there are.
Yes.
So there's probably more.
You did break it down.
What I want to say, guys, is if you can think of an intensity technique, one of the zillion that we probably didn't mention, comment below and let us know.
And we'll go into it on the next episode.
That sounds good. Of course, go to our sponsor, TrueNutrition.com. You can use code WeaponX. Wait, you can use code WeaponX. Or, of course, you can use code THINK. Of course, check out Derik over on Instagram. And if you're in Tampa, go to FitFam. Check it out.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you.